Welcome back to another episode of Casual Conversations. I am your host, Ryan Bean, here with the great co-host, Elena Sweetser, talking all things life. And right now she's dealing with a real estate crisis, as she always does. She's all fired up. So the timing could not be more perfect.
Fired up.
On talking about real world. This is about as real as it gets, guys, because like I said, we've all dealt with testy clients. We've all dealt with Karens that are out there. And when you're in the sales world like Elena and I, you have to learn how to deal with a lot of different personalities. And that's one of the toughest parts of our job, honestly, is just navigating how to handle people with a lot of different personalities.
Right.
So anyway, so besides all that issue that she's having with one of her listings, she's obviously still killing it. And again, we want to thank you guys for continuing to tune in and listen to us. Hopefully it turns out okay. Our social marketing director is deciding to go spend some time with her boyfriend out in West Texas and go to her first college football game. So she's going to
she's doing that.
She's going to a Texas Tech football game. So
we got to let her live her life too, I suppose.
We don't want to, but she needs to, and especially when we preach live life on this podcast, we gotta practice what we preach. So hope she has a great time. But if the audio and the video don't look great, that is 100% on Mr. Ryan Bean here. She put her trust in me, and I'm probably the worst at it. Can't break that bad boy. So anyway, thank you for listening to us, guys, and continue to tune in week after week. It means the world to us, and glad that you see some value in the things that Elena and I discuss. What are we getting into today?
There's a lot of things. I don't know.
Okay, we're gonna get into your. Should we? You know what?
No, I know what to get. I know what to get into. I think it'd be a good one, and it'd be a real one.
Okay, go for it. Let's do it.
Okay. Do you remember? And especially like the moment I just had with that text from the seller.
Yep.
So last week, I think it was last week, I posted a video. I was like, if I'm being honest, on my Monday walk videos, I've been doing that lately. My Monday morning thoughts.
Isn't going on walks just amazing, though?
Nice. I'm like, why haven't I been doing this more often?
It's so great.
It's pretty cool with my kid.
It's so great. Well, it's just you get to decompress. You get to walk.
Good for you.
It's the best.
Yeah.
It is the best.
So on that walk last week, I posted something like how my thought was like, I'm feeling the burnout. Like I am feeling it hard. And it's not because I'm helping so many people right now. It's the navigating the market with sellers who are constantly, putting, and I'm not complaining, I'm saying, but constantly putting their stress on you or their anger or whatever emotions, blaming you for something that's out of your control, right? And I have to keep reminding myself that you're stepping up every day. Like I get up every day and I'm still constantly trying to think of new ways to sell their houses where most realtors are like, it's the market, it is what it is.
Right.
And I'm like, let's try this. Right. Let's do this. I'm spending money out of my pocket to help
she shouldn't have to do. She's gone above and beyond. She shared some stories with me and literally spending money out of her pocket before the house even closes, which is above and beyond what any realtor should even do. But she tries to always go the extra mile.
So I just right now, and I like my Italy trip coming up is the most perfect timing. I was talking to my admin this morning. Like it's a gift from God that the crazy wave of work is kind of naturally slowing right now. Like I've got closings lined up while I'm out of town, unfortunately.
But you built a team. But now you built a team so that you can go spend a few, 10 days with your family. Yeah. And you can check text messages every now and then and you can still be engaged.
No, I told my admin, I was like, I want to be off.
Girl, I'm proud of you. I am proud of you.
I will have my phone and, check social media, whatever. I was like, but for work, I'm not responding to emails. My email will go to her, text messages, I said, if a new client comes in and I miss that client, it is what it is.
Girl, I'm so proud of you. It's good stuff.
But I told her, I was like, I'm just feeling burnt out. And then you do things where you like the specific closing, right? Where I went today, that I went above and beyond to get it closed on time for a price that she liked. And then right before closing, her sons are just like, you should pay for that, you know? And it's like, it's getting up every day and to not feel appreciated is a hard thing to do.
Well, that's why you're successful at what you do, because most people aren't cut out for it, right? You look at, I've talked about this probably ad nauseum, and so for everyone listening, sorry, but when you're in sales, everyone sees how lucrative it could be, right? In most sales jobs, if you're in the right industry with the right company, you can make a good living. But it's all of these things that you have to deal with behind the scenes that nobody sees. They see the byproduct of your hard work. They get to see your vacations, your home, your cars, your nights out for dinner, all the things you get to do to celebrate. And people get envious of that because they look at it as like you've been handed something.
Yeah, they don't understand the uglies.
They don't. And they also don't understand that, right? Where you're doing what you have to do to close this property and get it done. even though it's costing you money personally. And you could be sitting there wallowing about it, and you could sit there and go back and try to keep the receipts on all these things that you've lost money on, or you could just take a small whack, move on with life, and not let it take any more of your energy. And most people just don't have that gear. They just don't. And it's just the reality. That's why most people have jobs. They have a 9 to 5. They work for somebody because they don't want to have to make decisions. They don't want to have to lead companies or grow companies or do any of that. They're putting that responsibility and burden on somebody else to go do while they get a support role paycheck. And then they get upset about their support role paycheck, but they don't do anything to change that that path. So
but like
I have very little patience and very little patience and respect for people that bitch and complain, but don't change anything about their situation.
I agree. And I just don't understand. Like, that's one thing I struggle with my job a lot. And I think most people in general, and it doesn't just do with career, I think it does with like personal, but like just the constant underappreciation we feel in the world these days. You know, people just the entitlement. That just expected, like, you're a realtor, you're making 3%, you should do this for me.
Right.
I should clean your house for you.
Right.
You know, there's one year I had a seller 2 years ago. I had to pick up cat poop for him. For a $900,000 house.
Right.
And that was the complaint. He was out of town, you know, but that's not in my job description.
No, but
I did it.
Right. You did it. Yeah. And like I said, you know, at the end of the day, you're always going to deal with those people.
Yeah.
And I think that what it does do is it highlights how great certain customers are, certain people are.
Oh, yeah.
People that are understanding that you have a life, understanding that you have a family. They try to be empathetic and kind when you're going through these processes, right? Because again, Elena is my realtor. She's done a ton of deals for me, and she's going to do hopefully way more in the future. And I try to be the kind of customer that I want.
Yeah.
That's how I've always looked at it. So I've always looked at it how do I want my customers to treat me? Do I want them to hold me to a high standard? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do I want them to expect more out of me than most people? Absolutely. I will take any of that, and I take it with open arms. But I also need customers that understand there's certain things that are completely outside of my control. And I've done everything I could possibly do to put them in the best positions in their life or their businesses or whatever it is to be successful and to get through those things. But there's just certain things that are completely outside of my control. And you need to have customers that are understanding to those situations, and they understand the real world. Anyone that has a news outlet, anyone that's on a social media platform, which everybody is, understands the market's soft right now. The economy, you're going into the fourth quarter for one, which is traditionally a slower quarter anyway. The holidays are coming up. Most people aren't traveling. Most people aren't buying homes or trying to move. Kids are in the middle of their school year. The interest rates are right now continuing to creep down. So you probably have people sitting on the sidelines going, you know what? Let me wait another 60 days. I might get an extra quarter point or half point off. I think that's a foolish strategy. In my opinion, we can get into that in a little bit as well.
Yeah.
But, and again, it's my opinion, and you know, she's the expert, so I'd love to hear. And because she's the expert, so I take her advice very seriously. But you need to have customers that understand what you're going through, and they don't hammer you down. As long as they know you're doing everything in your power for them, they could be frustrated, they could be upset. We all are. But there's a lot of great clients out there. There are a lot of fantastic people out there that want to make life easy on you as well, and that's the best advice I can give is be the kind of customer you want.
Yeah, and I think people forget people do more when they're appreciated. You know, and I'm not saying like you need to kiss my feet every day. I get paid for what I do, right? I get that. But I'm still a human.
Sure.
Right? I'm still a person.
Right.
And I think a lot of people forget that, you know, and I used to work with a lot of clients. I mean, I'll never forget when Kian went to the hospital when he had RSV and he was in there for 4 days, remember? And he had to go by ambulance because he had his seizure thing. I got all emotional about it.
Scary moment.
Reliving that moment. But anyways, I'll never forget. I had a certain set of clients. I was like, my son is in the hospital. Everything is caught up. And I didn't have a team then. I was like, but I will be out of pocket. I will be with my son here in the hospital. And I had someone that were like, we are your last priority. Don't even think about us. And then I had other clients who were like, okay, but can you take a call real quick?
Yeah.
You know,
and that tells you everything you need to know about their character.
My son have a 8-minute seizure. My 8-month-old have an 8-minute seizure. I witnessed it. Rushed him in the hospital and was in the hospital for 3 days. And you want me to call you for 15 minutes over an offer you're not even going to make.
Yeah, I mean, it goes to show you a lot of people about people's character, right? And it goes to show you that, you know, most people are extremely selfish. And, you know, I think by nature, we've made it that way because you're constantly, force fed what you think you need to have in life. And you and I talk about this a lot. And one of the main, it's a great comment you made because it's really sums up why I wanted to do this podcast is I believe that we have given everybody our age, the youth especially, just a false sense of what a life's about. And we've made it so much about money and materialistic things and just me, what can I take? And that's not how it should be. It should be, how do we give more? And, give more, take less. And if people have that attitude, like you said, when you have the right clients with the right people, with the right souls and the right understanding, because they were able to immediately put themselves in your shoes and say, if my child was in a hospital, nothing else around me is important. And when you start to recognize what's truly important, do we want to make a life? Absolutely. Do we want to have a comfortable life and make as much money as we can? Absolutely. Do we want to have nice things? Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But if all of your decisions and the kind of person you become is solely for those purposes, you're going to go down a path that you're going to end up regretting long term. In my opinion, it's going to bite you. You're going to lose people over the years. You're going to lose relationships. People aren't going to respect you. People aren't going to like you. And at the end of the day, what are you doing it for? And,
I think it goes back to our episode, was it last week? Some boundaries.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got to realize how big of a boundary you want, how thick of a boundary you want.
Yep.
Right. And what are you setting that boundary up for?
Yeah.
There's going to be times like I've dealt with bad clients, but I've dealt with really good clients too. Like I have a closing day before my birthday, actually. It's supposed to be on my birthday, but my birthday is Veterans Day, so the banks are closed.
Everything's closed now. So.
But anyways, before we listed her house, I helped her buy her home. And then she's selling her home, and she literally texted me, and she goes, she's like, yeah, we're almost done. And then she's like, the house is yours, and you do what you do best. I was like, okay, because most I was like, oh, so you're going to do this? I would like to do this. Can you put this in the description?
Yeah.
And so I did my thing, and guess what? Her house sold in 3 days.
Yeah.
And it's closing 3 weeks later.
Yeah. No,
they asked for $100 on the inspection items.
Well, it's like when you hop on an airplane, or you go tell the pilot how to fly the plane. If I go in the doctor's office, do I tell the doctor what he studied for?
But
what
it's
he's
different for realtors though, because we don't have a PhD.
No, I know, but
so
it's just it's just crazy. I look at it, when you look at someone with Elena's track record, this is your profession. You are the expert in this field. That's why I pay you. Yeah. Right. So and I'm happy to pay you.
Yeah.
So, all these people that do like the for sale by owners and all this other stuff that, because they believe in their heart, they think they're saving money. In reality, you are not. I promise you are not. You're leaving money on the table. You could have got way more higher price for your property if you made some changes. You have someone that's in your corner like Elena is in mine, that is talking strategy and talking long term. And when you think about the few $1,000s that you potentially think that you lose on a commission type thing, in the long term, it costs you so much more money.
Right.
So I trust Elena as if I would trust any professional. Like why my customers come to me and ask me multiple questions about the industry, what's going on, what are the trends, what are we seeing,
I'm not asking
what's
you
coming.
Why you sold this wood and not the other one.
Correct. You're like Ryan. I'm asking you because you're supposed to be an expert in this field, and you're supposed to help guide me so that I can make the best business decisions for me and my employees.
And people think that even in real estate. So the house. Oh, sorry, my Lord of the Rings ringtone's going off. My bad. So even me being in real estate in the house I just bought, for instance, right?
Yep.
I am not a lender, though. Just because I'm in real estate, I know numbers really well. I'm not a lender. So with my lender, Corey, I literally was like, you just tell me what to do, man. Like, I trust you, Cole, and I trust you wholeheartedly.
Yep.
Just tell us, what would you do here?
Yep.
And technically we're not supposed to ask, what would you do? Or people ask us, what would we do? But he's like family to me now, because he and I do so much business together.
Well, it's trust.
Yeah.
Now there's trust.
And so I told him, I was like, okay, because we had different situations we had to work out, like, to get the interest rate we want, right? And so we're looking at, do we put this much down? Do we put this much down? Do we pay our taxes with our mortgage? Do we withhold them?
Yep.
Pay them on our own, which we decided to do that, which is a first for us.
Right.
But I trust him enough that what he's advising me to do is the right thing to do.
Sure.
And so, I'll just like, you tell me what to do.
Yeah, and it's actually, brings up a good question, because obviously, when we jumped on this episode, you had made a comment about how the market's kind of all over the place right now. It's hard to navigate because there's so many moving parts to what's going on. You don't have buyers that are educated for one, and there you have a lot of a lot of customers or clients that are impatient of what's going on, right? Or they believe because a house down the street sold for X, they deserve Y, and you have to kind of guide them through that. Are you running into? Because I'm interested to know your thoughts, because I think you know mine. Is people getting too wrapped up in the short-term thought process?
Oh, 100%.
So,
I mean, the fact that people are focusing on just the interest rate tells you 1,000,000% that they're focused on the short term.
Okay.
Interest rates fluctuate, right? And it's fixed rate, but you can fluctuate it over time.
Right.
Like, you can change the fixed rate, but everybody's like 7%. I'm not buying. Okay, let's break it down. What do you want your mortgage to be? What is your end goal with your investment? Okay. Because if you buy low, you will gain the high at the end of the day, right? And so too many people focus on that, or it just,
they're focusing on the $200 a month that they're going to make on the house.
Yeah.
So I will give you my perspective, because Elena, like I said, has done these deals with me, and I think she'll back me up 100%.
Yeah.
We talk a lot about money, and we talk a lot about making your money work for you. And I can tell you this, and we've talked about this before as well, but we really have never gotten really deep in the weeds. It's probably a good conversation to have, especially now, given where the market is.
Yeah.
But too many people are so focused on trying to save their way to be wealthy. They're trying to save their way to retirement. They're trying to work 40 or 50 years to hopefully at the end of the rainbow have enough money to last them until they die. Most of those people are probably going to live to 75 or 80 years old. So you end up working for, call it when you retire at 65 or 67, which is now the average. You get 10 to 12 years maybe of decent life left before you start to kind of go the opposite direction, which is just a sad reality. And this is why Elena and I talk on this podcast so openly about it, is we have one freaking life. It is inevitable. We are going to die. And we can die at any point, and we don't know when that is. So to not take some gambles, to not take some risks, to not try to do everything in your power to put yourself in a position to be as free as early on as you can, I just don't get that mentality.
So I just saw a video yesterday. You know that we send videos to each other of the young kid that does the interviews with
I love that kid. Yeah, it's awesome.
He did one yesterday. I saw it, and he asked the guy, and he said, "What would you say makes the difference between a middle class and an upper class?" And the guy said, "Because the middle class saves and the upper class invests." Yep.
You got to become an investor in today's world. And, I would tell this to people that are interested in real estate, right? That's been the one avenue that me and my wife have gone down, because it's the one that Elena has given us a great deal of knowledge on. So I know enough to get myself in trouble, but thankfully I've got people around me that could back me up. But I could tell you this, that it's common sense to me that you make your money on the buy side. So right now it is technically a buyer's market, although Elena's got plenty of buyers and sellers, and she has to navigate those paths.
It's fun.
It is a buyer's market. So the way I look at it is completely different than what most people look at it. Most people look at it as, okay, well, if I'm buying this house and my mortgage is $2,000 a month and I can only rent it for $1,700 a month, I'm going to lose $300 a month. First of all, you're not going to lose $300 a month. People have got to stop changing. They've got to change the way they think. Okay, you're losing $300 a month on paper, $3,600 a year. Okay. First of all, it's a depreciating asset when you have renters in there. So the tax deductions that you get on that property are going to far outweigh that $300 loss. The $300 loss is also a tax deduction on that property. What you need to look at is, what is the house appreciating in value every year? That asset becomes more valuable. So when if you need a college tuition, if you need to buy a car, you can eventually, if you needed to, borrow from that house because you've built up equity in that property. So what you should be looking at is, okay, if a house goes up 10% a year, which in Texas, it's been, I think, far above that, you buy a house for $300,000, okay? So in a year from now, that house is now worth $330,000. So you should be looking at, wait a minute, it's worth $330,000. You made $2,500 a month. You didn't lose $300 a month. You gained $2,500 a month of equity in that property. And as you repair that house and fix that house, and the house continues to go up, guess what? You now have opened up the door for more leverage for yourself, because now you could borrow that money, tax-free, by the way, because it's a debt. It's a loan. It's not a cash out, or it's not a sell. You're not selling the house. You're borrowing from the property. But remember, someone else is paying for that investment for you. So someone else is paying for that investment, building up that equity. So you are now playing with house money. That is the way you should be thinking.
One other thing to think about. When your value goes up to the, let's say, 330,000, guess what else goes up?
The rent. So now you're increasing your rent as well year over year. So
you might be breaking even, or now cash flowing $100.
I do not focus on the cash flow at all, because at the end of the day, the taxes, guys, if the AC goes out, your $300 a month is gone anyway. If your water heater goes out, your $300 a month is gone anyway. If you got any repair on the house that you're going to have to do, yes, it's nice. You want to ideally have cash flow. I would love to have it on my properties, but I can tell you right now, in today's environment, I've bought two properties, and they're both over 7%. And most people would look at me and go, Ryan, you're nuts. 7%. No, I realize, and now the interest rate's already down to like 6.5. So I already know the interest rate's going to back off. So I already know that I got in at the correct buy rate. And if I can get as close to my mortgage as possible on the rent, that is a win, because the market will shift, the interest rates will dip, and guess what? I'm going to refinance that loan. I'm going to get it at the lower interest rate. I'm probably not going to touch any cash. I'm now probably going to have positive cash flow on that property, because the interest rate went down and lowered my payment. And oh, guess what, guys? I have all this equity sitting in that house. I am now playing with house money.
You're just moving money around.
And it's all you're doing. And if I want to go buy another property, which is what I would probably do, and I have equity in that house, most people will sit at as that's my net worth. Okay, it's your net worth if you sell it. The only way you have access to that money is if you sell that home, or you can borrow against that money and go buy another investment property. And again, you're doing it with the tenant's money. It's very common sense to me. It's very easy math to me. I don't get this concept of people getting so wrapped up in this interest rate.
Because people focus too much on what's in their bank account. Now let me talk about that.
What you can afford monthly, for sure.
But no, they like, how much money do they have in their savings, right? So like, because my parents are this way. They're like, so I told Cole what's in our savings, right? We were talking about it the other day, and he's like, that's too much. We need to take it out and invest.
Well done, Cole.
Right? Yeah.
Good job, buddy.
I'm training him well.
Because
we need to take it out and invest, right? And we plan to buy another house next year, right? So obviously some of that's already going into that fund. So,
sure. Yep.
But most people are like, why would you do that? Why would you that's my security right there, right? That makes them feel safe in their financials. Well, I would have a lot more money in my bank account if I didn't buy my all four houses.
Right.
I still have that money. It's just sitting.
That's exactly
in
right.
a different avenue. Did you see that mosquito just attack me? Did you see that mosquito just attack me?
Girl, I'm getting destroyed out here. That's the only bad thing about fall in Texas. I got the bug spray, but we're mid episode. We're mid episode, so we're gonna suck it up and get destroyed for you guys.
So if you see me, that's why. But anyways, I have that money. It's just in other investments.
And it's investments that are growing at a much higher rate, right? So when you think about, okay, we use the example on the house. You buy a house for $300 in a year, it's worth $330. Okay, let's say in a year we're in a recession and the house goes up at no value whatsoever. You still have the property, you still have the land, you still have the asset.
And you're still paying down the mortgage.
Yes, you still need assets. The only way you're going to get to, and again, it's not for everybody. The only way I'm going to get to where I want to be when I retire is to have assets. The only way I'm going to be able to get to where I want to retire is to have equity and value in properties and those type of things. I'm not going to get there by saving it. So saving is important. Having a safety blanket is absolutely important. Having a emergency fund for things to go wrong on the house is absolutely important.
Financial freedom is important.
It is. But when you think about how long would it take you to save $30,000? If I ask most people today, correct. I ask most people today, how long would it take you to save $30,000?
Yeah.
Or you go find a way to buy a property that will net you the same. It's not in your savings account, but it's still your property. It's still your asset. It's still your money.
Yeah.
So it's just getting people to change the mindset. And Elena and I talk a lot about that because we want you guys to change your mentality. We want you guys to look at things differently. And we're not saying we have the magic pill, and we're not saying that we're right. We're just saying that this is the kind of future that we want. The majority of the people that continue to listen to us want the same kind of things that Elena and I do out of life. And that's my best piece of advice to you guys.
It comes with risk. It comes with
course.
strategy, and it comes with sacrifice.
And I will also say this: don't ever risk more than what you're comfortable doing.
Yeah.
And and again, most people will say, "Oh, it's easy for you to say, Ryan. You put yourself in this position." No, guys, I've lost money. I've made bad decisions on calls. I've made bad investments. I've learned from those lessons, but I've also recognized that if I can get more wins than losses, I'm still going to get further along in life than me trying to save my W-2 paycheck. Yeah. It's just not going to get me there.
I risked and merged my business with another the year before last, 2023. Did not turn out for me. I spent more money in my business that I was making, and I put myself in a good amount of debt last year. People won't admit that. I'll admit that. And this year, I was not in position to go to Hawaii because I had debt I had to pay off, and I still didn't have my business hitting yet. So I focused. I focused on rebuilding a business, and it was starting March. Bam, 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 and I'll probably close out over 50 deals this year.
Yeah, and you've made back
sacrifice.
Yeah. Correct.
I was able to focus.
Yeah. Yep. And guess what, guys? Reward. Which is a perfect segue to what she's doing now. And we talked about burnout. We talked about her at that point in her right where she's at and dealing with tough clients and just our, we don't really get too much into money, right? We talk a lot about success and those type of things here, but sometimes people ask us, give us some more specifics on what some of the things that you and Elena have done. So I just felt like with you talking about the real estate, the market right now, the interest rate, so much political stuff going on right now, all this nonsense, stay the course, ignore all the noise that's around you guys and focus on what you can control every day. You can change that. And then on top of that, make the sacrifices when you need to make them. And now you fast forward a year, and this girl is about to head to Italy in a week. Yeah. So I can't tell you how jealous I am of this because Italy is where I want my second home to be. I think it changes you as a person going. So I'm very happy for her, but very envious at the same time. So
I'm excited. It's our first time in Italy. But if it wasn't on my vision board to go to Italy this year.
But Hawaii was on my threw that in there.
Well, Hawaii was in my vision board.
Okay.
Right? And so if you look at my thing, it was there. And and then the Disney cruise, because we didn't get to go last year because my husband's knee. So I was like, I want to go on a trip. And we haven't been able to go on trips in the last 2 years, like our normal trips, right? And so that's why I was like, I knew in the back of my mind we were going to go on a trip. I got to a point this summer where I was like, I want to go on a trip. I've worked hard to go on a trip. I sacrificed half of this year to grinding. I was sleeping. I was sleeping like 4 or 5 hours a night because I was working so late, waking up and doing it all over again. And I was like, I'm going to treat myself. And it gets to a point like my admin and I were talking today, why I'm like, I'm going to shut off for 7 days with work because I have hit my goals this year already. I still got 2 months left, but I hit it last month, right? I don't need to go into overdrive to say, now let me double that, right? Whatever, I'm going to still work.
Sure.
But I need to also reward myself that I hit a goal.
Right.
And I need to still live my life because there's a lot of realtors that get caught up in that chase and that it's addicting. Closings are addicting, I'll admit, right? You
so is rental properties. I want more of them.
But it's addicting to do that. And you also look at yourselves on the leadership boards and all that crap and you're like, more. And there has to be a point where you have to grow gradually at a pace that will continue you to success. Because I've seen it. Most realtors went 0 to $1 million.
Oh, we did it in my business. We did it in our business during COVID, right? Because my business was essential. So people were the building construction stuff was going crazy because people were in their homes. So interest rates were low. People were borrowing money, remodeling houses, building new houses because people weren't traveling, right? So I have understood the pain that comes with growing too fast, too soon as well. And it is painful. And it's painful when you have to reset your business and reset your strategies and reset it back to
reset your ego.
Yeah.
I had to deal with my ego. That was my biggest demon last year.
Me too. And then me. And I've been open on this podcast about it, struggling with some of my mental struggles this year and some of the beat downs that I've taken. And I've wanted to be that way. I've wanted to be vulnerable for all of you guys out there because you're not alone. And I know other people are out there really struggling.
It takes people like us to come on here. Because you see the successes, but you don't see the pain behind the
failures, or the failures, which happen a lot. It happens all the time. We fail every day. We fail every month. I make mistakes daily. I make bigger mistakes quarterly, monthly, yearly. It's repeating that mistake is the true mistake. If you learn from it and figure out a way to change how you went about it or change your strategy, then you learn something from it.
God will give you the same lessons over and over and over again until you learn.
It's a great quote. And speaking of God, by the way, we got a sidestep. So she just told me, and I'm Catholic, so I'm very embarrassed by this, by the way. But so she gets to go to see the Vatican, which again, so jealous. Gosh, I want to go back so bad. Can't wait for you to get this experience. I really can't, because I know what it's going to do to your soul.
Yeah.
And what was it that it's
Jubilee year.
Okay, so what does that mean?
So it's
for all
like,
the Catholics, the people non-Catholic out there.
Every 25 years, the Pope opens the doors of St. Basilica. That's
the St. Peter's Basilica.
St. Peter's Basilica, yes.
Basilica, yes.
So I get to go in there this year. I bought tickets, and you get to go, and they open the doors. It's got the golden not statues, but you know what I mean, figurines on there. Yes, all the saints and all that stuff. And so I grew up Catholic. I haven't gone to church in a long time, but we're getting back to it.
I'm so happy for you.
Thank you for getting that devotional book for my son for his birthday. That's cool. But no, I was actually talking to Ken about it last night, because I was telling him, I was like, every 25 years, buddy, this is such a special year. But apparently, you know, if you go during the Jubilee year, you're supposed to receive extra blessings and good luck and stuff like that. I didn't know it when I booked. I just found good tickets to Italy, and I was like, the universe is telling us to go to Italy.
You, in my opinion, you really, religion sets in deeper when you're there.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
Not only that, because when you go to Vatican, obviously the Pope, and you get to see where the popes are buried. You know, all those type of things. Just how magnificent the churches are, how beautiful, how ornate, how unique all these stained glass windows, and how old the churches are. And you think about the prayer that's been said in those churches, and the amount of masses, and over just how beautiful it really is. It changes you, and it also, I think, slows you down a little bit. And I think, to your point where you're talking about chasing that next goal, that next thing, you've already said in your head, look, I've hit my goals this year. That doesn't mean that I'm going to work less hard.
Just going to take the rest of the year off.
Yeah, I wish, that'd be nice. But you're going to go enjoy a vacation. You know that you've achieved your goals. You know you're going to surpass those goals. You want to set yourself up refreshed and re-energized going into the next year. So how are you going to be the best version of yourself? How is Elena going to hit next year's goals if you're not rested, re-energized, and ready to go? You need these resets. And work hard, play hard. We talk a lot about that. We are very big on that. And you also need to sit back and enjoy what you've achieved and reward yourself for what you've achieved. That's why you've worked so hard. And then once you've got that goal and you've rewarded yourself, okay, then it's okay, in my opinion. Let's set the next goals, and I'm going to tie some sort of award to myself, a reward for my family, if we reach those goals.
You notice one thing I haven't done this year that most people do when they start making crazy money?
What's that? Why?
I didn't buy a new car.
Why?
It's not going to make me more money in the end run.
And
I'm still driving a car that's paid off. It's a 2012.
Yep.
It's a nice car. It's 2012. I bought a new house, but I didn't max out my budget. Why?
Correct. Why?
You know?
What
and
do you
I've seen so many people, usually when you start making more money, it's the new car, the designer clothes, everything. And I did get my hair done, which is nice. But
what's really crazy is most of the time people would buy that stuff, not because they actually need it or want it. It's to impress people it's just to impress people that don't really care about it anyway.
Cole still drives his truck that has a broken handle, but it's paid off.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's like, I think you have to remember, it's one step at a time.
One step at a time. Oh, well, I think it's a great way to wrap up today's episode. So great conversation. Started with Elena having a stressful day. I'm having a stressful day / year, but we're going to get through it. We're going to get through it with people like you.
See, I feel better.
You make me feel better every single time.
Tell me where I can send my checks.
Yeah, exactly. She's got a vacation. Cheers there.
Sorry.
She's got a vacation next week going to Italy.
I'm a cheer mom.
I can't wait to hear back. I can't wait for her to share with you guys everything that Italy meant to her. But I guarantee you she's going to be blowing us up with pictures the whole time just to try to make me more envious, which will probably work. So anyway, thank you guys for continuing to support us. If you guys see value in this, like us, share us. If you think someone else can benefit from listening to us,
comment on it. We want to know what your feedback is.
Yeah, and again, guys, we can take bad feedback too. So
he can, I can't. I'll cry.
I won't cry, but we're here to keep getting better. So anyway, we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.